In today's video, we are going to be playing with the Victorian Petals Press and Foil collection from LDRS Creative. This collection features the three-piece coordinating set. It has Victorian Petals Press and Foil plates, which are heating up right now on my Glimmer machine. We have the coordinating die and the coordinating stencil. The stencil has two layering stencils, and you see here it has multiple steps on the different stencils. So we are going to actually be watercoloring this today and seeing how watercolor paper, I'm curious to see how watercolor paper from LDRS, with as smooth as it is, if it will foil for us, because it's just so silky smooth. I thought possibly it might foil. And then I thought we would use these two coordinating pieces to create a shaped card for a change. Now, these were just released in the last release, the Pinpoint collection. And the pinpoints are gorgeous, first of all, but they also coordinate with the Hand Torn collection. And we're going to use these in connection with each other to create our actual card and card base. So stick around and let's have some fun. Okay, the timer has hit green solid. So I'm going to cover my plate with the shiny side down of the foil. And I'm going to go ahead and release this. The LDRS watercolor paper is smooth on both sides. So I'm going to put that there. We're going to put the two plates on it, and I'm going to hold it tight. I'm using the Platinum 6. I have got the purple lilac shimmer version. It is still available while supplies last on the website. Okay, let's see how we did. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. It might have, guys. Let's see. I'm going to give it a couple minutes and let it cool, okay? Because I really am hoping this works. Oh, the detail. Look at the detail. Better press plates are so magnificent because you can do both pressing and foiling. And on the LDRS website, now remember, you guys get a 15% coupon code from me when you're shopping at LDRS Creative. So don't forget that. But when you, I'm just going to peek, sorry. Okay, yes, I'm being a tease. When you shop over at LDRS Creative, these are not called better press plates. They're called press and foil plates. OMG. Look at that, guys. We just hot foiled on watercolor card. LDRS card is amazing. I love this stuff. I'm going to get my spray bottle. We'll just put a little water right here so I have some available. And I'm going to use these dual tip pens from Altenew. They're called Tahitian Terrace. I have all 4 sets of these, and I love using them because of how easy they are, really. But I just color them down here so I have like a palette, and then I can see what colors they are and decide how I want to use them. And then let's see, do I want this red or pink? Let's do red with this one. And we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so we can add to that anytime we need to. I probably should have put that a little farther apart, But let's just start with this pink and see our colors. And let's make sure you're in the picture. And I'm just going to come in here and give this a base. It looks like it's super, super light. It's almost like a peachy color. Okay, so that just gives me an idea of the light. I don't like to go in straight with the dark. So I'm just going to give this a little light tone. And we'll just do and on my glass mat, you really can't see that light color of the pink. And this is actually pink pearl that I'm using. These markers do coordinate with the inks of Altenew's. So this is just a light undercoat. So we'll have some light color at the tips of our petals. And you can also leave a little white highlight there at the ends of the petals too, if you want to. And that's always a nice look when you watercolor. I left some of them over here. I left one up there. There's a little bit right there. So then let's go in with this color here and see how deep this is. I'll go in where it's going to be darkest, which is the crevice. And then we'll pull out a little bit with some water. Like so. It's okay if it goes into the next one because you're about to color it. Now, some people don't like to color the petals that are right next to each other. They alternate. They'll go from here to here and it just depends on how much water you're using. If I'm using very, very little water, so I can get away with doing two next to each other, but that's the reason I can get away with it, is because of how little water I'm actually using. If I was using a lot more water, I would have to stay away from it. You're just dragging that color out. Now remember, you always can add more color. Like you can take some color here now and go and add a little bit more to get more depth. And you can do that back here as well. Because you want it to be darker on the creases. All right, same thing. I really like this. What color is that red one? Burnt red. Okay, so that's why we're getting the coral look, which I'm really digging. I'm loving the coral look. Okay, get a little extra water so we can lighten this up as we drag it down. That's a nice, pretty petal. Let me pull it up closer to you so you can see. See, I'm trying to stick with darker closer in and lighter here on the tips. And I'm using a number 1 paintbrush. These are also by Altenew, fine watercolor brushes. I have both sets of them actually. One is more fine tip than the other, and I recommend the smaller if you're going to do more detailed work like this set of the fine tip ones. If you're going to do background washes and larger spaces than this, then you'll want the set that comes in the case. If you're looking at the website, one has a case to it, and that has array from small all the way up to the background brush. But if you're just doing little details like this, then you just need the one. really is just all what you're after. Okay, I've got a little bit of a puddle there. I can let it dry, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and heat it with the heat gun just real quick so it doesn't go out of the lines. I could take a paper towel to it. It did go out of the lines a little bit right there. That's why I use just a little bit of water. I like the control that a little bit of water gives me rather than a lot of water. It's just the way I do it. Less is best for me. But everybody has their own way, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning as an artist. I learn it more and more every day. Every class, every, video, just like you guys. I am just like you guys. Probably got ahead of myself a little bit too much here because I did too much ahead. And now it's harder to soften these harsh lines. That was my fault. User error. Just keep working it. They'll go away eventually. Like, I hear that song, work it, baby, work it. There we go. Don't be scared to move your paper also. If it's easier for you to color in one direction, move your paper instead of your hand. There we go. Get a little bit darker if I have enough. And get this underneath right here. A little touch right there. All right. Now, if you want to, you can go back in and do another layer and make the dark even more intense. So you can come back in and let's intensify the ink. And you can go in, I won't show you a lot of this, I'll just do a little bit of it and do the rest off screen. But you can go back in like right here and add more. And just kind of drag it out a little bit. And you're just going in just up there under what would be a shadow. Just a little. And that's just going to darken it ever so lightly. So it's darker under there. So I'm going to do that, and I'll do this one off screen. So now I'm going to do a little bit of the green so you can see that. Here again, let me try this green here. It's lighter. So we'll do this big leaf here. It's kind of an olive tone. So we'll get that put on there. This is going to be quicker. Let's give me a little more clean water. Okay. Now I'll get some more of that water off there. Take a little of this green and see how this is. Just putting it in the crease. Then I'll get some more water and see how this merges here. There you go. It just gives the tips a little lighter of an edge. So that's pretty easy. If you want to go and just use the one color, you could come in on for the stem. And then if you want it to go lighter, you would just come in here and drag it with the water, like so. So you can do a leaf without the olive if you want to and keep it all this color. And that color is hunter green. The other one is olive. So it's whatever preference you have. These are just the two greens in this set, so I used what I had. But I might do that. Let me see if I can darken this up a little bit. Kind of like the darker for the rose. See what happens if I darken it. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and bring this back down. Just going to do the stems the one color. This is where you need number one. The number one or even a 0. This is full-on strength paint now that I'm doing this in. I'm not shading it. Okay, so you get the idea here. This one I'll do in just this dark green, no olive. So I did the dark green at the bottom, and then I'm just going to bring it up there. And you have the lighter green at the top. You can make the center, like the center, the vein, you can make that darker also if you want. Remember guys, this is your art. However it turns out is beautiful. The idea is just to have fun and to play. Have fun and craft with me. Get your paints out and just play. If you're not a paint girl, get your markers out. If you're not a marker girl, get your pencils out. Stamp something out or foil something out and just come color with me. And then let me know that you did. I'd love to hear what you colored. That would absolutely make my day. Then you can come over in the Craft Life Together with Spellbinders and More group and you can show me what you made. That would be even better. All right, I'm going to finish this up and die cut it out. We're going to be die cutting it with this die, and this is what our card base is going to be made out of. So I'm going to do all of that, and then I'll show you how I did the card base when we get back, and then we'll put our card together. So I'm going to do all of that off screen, and then I'll come back and we'll put it together so I can show you how the card base is made. Okay guys, I've got our layers for our card here all cut out of this. Actually, this is the outside die of this set of 3 dies here. That again is the hand torn ovals and pinpoint ovals. And now we're going to make the card base. So we're going to take the largest die, and you can do this with any die set you have that is a frame type die set. And you're going to take a piece, most of the time I use Nina Solar White cardstock, but any heavyweight cardstock. And you're going to cut this, depending if you want the side fold or a top fold. Because this is an oval, I really want a top fold, but this is not high enough. But we're going to try it and see if this works. We're going to cut this down the middle here. I could cut it with a trimmer, but I'm just freehanding it for the sake of time. Okay, so you're just going to score this in half, which would be the 5.5 mark. Okay. Okay, so now you're going to need to put this over the fold. You do not want this cutting die under the fold. This is our fold. I want a top folding card base. The reason I did top folding is because I want to show you how to make an oval card stand. That's important. It needs to be able to stand, right? So I'm going to show you that trick. But because this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet, I'm pretty far away from the fold there. Normally, I would do it like that, where it's just a tiny bit over the fold. But if you have a 12-inch piece of paper, 12 by 12, you could easily do this and not have to worry about that. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to do it like this for purposes, demonstration purposes. And it actually shows you what I'm doing even better. So I'm going to put it in my die cut like that. And I'm going to cut through all of those layers, and it may take a couple of turns. I'm going to go through and back. Make sure you hold the top of your plates when you do that so it doesn't shift. And let's look. Ah, the Platinum 6 is amazing. Okay. So that cut through both layers. That's 220 pounds, guys. Kind of looks like a toilet seat. Isn't that funny? All right, let me put this away. All right, so now we have our top folding card base. So then we will assemble our card like this. Now, because we had that huge gap at the top, we're going to have that. So if you do not like the look of this, all you have to do is put a piece of white paper here before gluing the card base. Okay? So I can just die cut another one of these. And then on the back side, I will put this. Get our glue out. Easy fix. Let that set for a minute. Get all these little stragglers off the edges here. Make sure that's all nice. Doesn't show from the front. Looks pretty good. Okay, and now we can attach it and it won't show. So now I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the right side is on the back of the card. That way we have the pretty side. It's all finished. And we'll go ahead. Whoops, I almost did the wrong side. We want the black out. Go ahead and put this on here. Lining it up really good. Do as I say, not as I do. Much better the second time. It's a little off. It's a little off, and the reason is because I wanted the pretty side back here. But that's okay. I can trim it. Slant your scissors so you don't cut the top. There we go. All right, then we just simply create the rest of our card. Gold is so pretty. I think I want to pop her up. Just going to pop her up a little bit. 1 millimeter foam squares. Oh, look at Lucky's hair in there. If you have a doggy, you understand. Or a kitty that roams in your craft room. You understand my pain. Even in a sealed container, the fur still gets in there. But that's okay. I'm a pet lover, so I live with it. As long as it doesn't show on the front of my card, I'm okay. Okay. So now we've got our beautiful roses, wild roses. And this set, remember, is Victorian Petals. I think it's so pretty. Get those little shavings off there. Just run your nail or your finger if it's got any of those little extras from the die cutting machine. Oh, look at that. Who is not going to love that when they pull that out of the envelope? So striking. And now this sentiment I pulled out of the fruit tree die set here. This one is so many of my smiles begin with you. So I went ahead and used this, and we will go ahead and pop this. Well, yeah, we'll pop it up too. We will pop it up too. We'll use the thin ones on that too, but we'll use the mini ones. And see, since I used 1 millimeter on both of these instead of 2 millimeter, it's not too much, you know? So that's one thing I like about these 1 millimeters. I'm using them more and more because they're just enough, but not too much. I also like being able to layer my layers. Like if I'm doing florals, I can have one higher than the other. Okay, so how about we sit this right about here? Yeah, there we go. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up and like and subscribe, of course. Leave me a comment down below. And don't forget, anytime you're shopping with LDRS Creative, make sure to use my coupon code, Melanie15. I will leave all the details down below and a visual supply list of anything you might be or anything that I've used in the video, so you can easily find it on there on my supply list. So thank you so much for coming out today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye, my friends.